Sup y'all, CODI here with a new video. In this one, I'm going to rank every piece of media I consumed in February 2026, which I can promise a quarter of this list will not matter to most of you, but whatever, let's just do the thing. At number 16, the worst piece of media I got through this month is one of those four that people won't care about, Minecraft Survivor Season 7, The Caribbean. This series will come up multiple times in this video, so let me just say this quickly. This is a series based on Survivor, the TV product, obviously, and there are multiple people who have done these, so it's worth noting that in this context of the video, I'm specifically referring to the ones hosted by Elite Chris 35 on YouTube. I will be spoiling these seasons, so I guess if you don't want to be spoiled, then you can skip. Realistically, anytime I really talk about Minecraft Survivor, unless otherwise stated, it will be Elite Chris 35, because I plan to do like other videos with it and stuff in the future, but we will probably talk about that in the March video. Either way, for Season 7 in particular, a large reason why I rated this so low is because of the ending, which I'm gonna spoil. One of the contestants, Killer, ends up getting all the way to the final three and winning the game over Trevor and Corkaker by a vote of 7 to 1 to 0. However, Killer leaked the fact that he was on the season, causing people he knew to harass other players to give them info that they would then spread to Killer. Shockingly, this is not a good thing, especially when considering that the host super clearly lays out the rules for the contestants to follow, and Killer was incapable of doing that. Because of this, Killer's win was revoked and he was disqualified. The production team decided to negate the votes given to Killer rather than having the juries recast, and so Trevor won the season by a vote of 1 to 0. And to be clear, I completely understand why production made this call. I think it was the right call to make, but it doesn't change the fact that it sucks, especially on a rewatch, which is what this was for me. I've watched from seasons 1 to 8 years ago, so knowing the outcome of the season made it really difficult for me to care about the season now. That being said, there is still fun to be had here. Corkager making a 7-person alliance on an 8-person tribe only to be the first boot by a unanimous vote is hilarious, especially considering that he comes back into the game and makes it all the way to the final tribal. We get Hannah trying to convince him to give up his returning spot to the game, which is funny. We get Marty and Garrett, who are both super fun. We get this really wholesome dynamic between Timmy and Lizzie, feeling like this father-daughter duo, which was nice to see. We get Ben, one of the power players of the season, going out in an idol play where there was a tied 5 to 5 vote. Again, this is a fun season, but the final result really saps a lot of my enjoyment from it. I don't even mind Trevor being the winner. I thought he was a solid presence throughout the season. But again, the ending is just a really shitty situation. 6 out of 10. At number 15, we have the first game in a trilogy, Hello Charlotte, and the first game is fine. This is my second time playing, where I initially just didn't play 2 or 3, but it had been a while, so I decided to revisit 1 before jumping into the sequels. At the time of writing this script, I've played 2, but not 3 yet, but they'll both probably be in the March video. I still haven't played 3 now, so, well, we'll see. Either way, Hello Charlotte is surprisingly about a girl named Charlotte. I know, shocking stuff. A puppet living in an odd house with odd roommates, if you can call them that. We get to see literally the Eye of Mensis from Bloodborne. I'm glad we got that cameo in here, thank God. We meet the greatest character in the story, Charlotte's maggot cat, aka Mag Cat. We have this stupid, rotten fucking teddy bear mansion, and I do remember this from my first experience of the game. I can tell you, it's not better the second time. We get to go to the library, and after a short Project Moon-induced brain rot session, our main man Felix gets decapitated. Classic Felix. Felix asks us, aren't we already friends? Common Felix W. And then we get some, weird shit going on at the end that doesn't really make all that much sense until you start playing the other games. All in all, listen, it's a fine prologue to the series, but it's nothing, super insane or nothing. 7 out of 10. At number 14, I can't believe that this exists, but I have Sakura Succubus 10. Which, again, how does this even exist, man? Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it does. I love the Sakura Succubus series. When in relation to arrow gays that are just arrow gays for arrow gays' sake, this is my favorite. I mean, I would hope so. This is the 10th game I've played of this. And now this is when the tone changes for me, because it's one of the lesser Sakura Succubus games, I think. For me, I would liken it most to 5, where in that one, it's mostly a setup to Sakura Succubus 6. And I feel very similarly about 10 here, where so much of 10 just feels like blatant setup to 11, in a position where 11 is not out yet, which, I mean, yay, we're probably going to get Sakura Succubus 11. But also, that kind of sucks for Sakura Succubus 10 here. By itself, it doesn't seem all that great, given the fact that we haven't gotten the payoff for it yet. We'll talk about it in the top 100 series video because, yes, Sakura Succubus is going to be in there way higher than anybody will want it to be. So we'll talk about the whole series when we get there. But I really do love the series. It's an eroge for the sake of being an eroge, but it's also just really funny to me. Consistently enjoyable throughout. Takes jabs at itself, so it doesn't take itself too seriously while having very few, to be clear, very, very few. They are very sparse, genuinely great scenes throughout the series. But again, 10 itself wasn't the best content offering it had. 7 out of 10. Moving on to number 13, I have Arknights Prologue Evil Time Part 1. Now, the thing about Arknights is that I knew of it already from the Limbus Company collab they did a good bit ago now. But then they decided, hey, let's do another collab, this time with Ave motherfucking Mujika, which is what I believe to be in contention for the single greatest anime ever. Like, the best, period. So despite constantly reiterating to myself that I wouldn't start Arknights until I caught up to Punishing Gray Raven, I mean, I might as well give it a shot, you know? Get the Ave Mujika units, that way when I do play the game proper, I'll have an Ave Mujika team. Which I don't regret, despite my luck being dog shit and needing to spend money on this fucking, needing to invest in the game, because I will play Arknights, genuinely. I, obviously, as you'll see in this video, I'm not going to be playing any more Arknights for now. I'm not going to be playing it again until I catch up to Punishing Gray Raven. But I know I will be playing it, so probably 2027, maybe 2028. We'll see. Moving on though. I needed to complete up to chapter 1 in order to play the event, which shockingly meant I had to do the prologue, which was good. It wasn't anything better than good, but it was good. 7 out of 10. At 12, I have Arknights Chapter 1, Evil Time Part 2, which was just more of the same. Obviously, it's just Part 2, really, of the prologue, where the only thing I'm even going to talk about here is W, where W is the best character in Arknights for me so far, and it's not really close. To be clear, when I say that, I mean I have her below the Ave Mujika cast, obviously, as well as Scotty and Kautse, courtesy of the Limbus collab. But above everyone else, like, out of all the characters that I was just introduced to through playing Arknights itself, W was far and away my favorite. 7 out of 10. At 11, we have another season of Minecraft Survivor, this time being Season 5, Kutene. Kutene is a weird one where I feel like it's a season that I should genuinely like more than I do. There's players like JT, Chief, and Oxy who really pop. Casey was fun just based on how much she clearly didn't want to be there. The Super Idol play was fun. The pre-merge was fun. But once we got to the merge itself, the game started to slow down a little bit. Also led to a pretty underwhelming Final 3, similar to how it did in Rorema, but without the iconic characters that made that merge so much fun. Whilst Sting is a fine winner and probably the best of the Final 3, he's also, like, not the greatest that we could have had on the season. It was still a good season, to be very clear. I think it's a really, really good season, but I wish it was better. 8 out of 10. Now into the top 10, and this is a weird one. We have a We're New at This, a manga that ended and I finished, but, like, I only read one chapter. After not having read it at all in probably close to, if not more than a year? So yeah, really fun read though. 8 out of 10. Up to number 9, we have Punishing Gray Raven, Chapter 16, Evernight Beat, which I'm going to go over very quickly. It's good. It's a generally really solid chapter, an inconsistent one, but when they shine, they shine. Liv, in particular, is really notable on the normal side, with Roland really doing the heavy lifting on the hidden side. But, I mean, if you know what comes next, you know. 8 out of 10. Moving into the upper half of the list at 8, I have the Ave Mujika Arknights collab event, which I'm of two minds on. On one hand, I love the fact that this exists. I thought the story was interesting, and in particular, I'm glad we got more content of the likes of Umidi and Yamu, who really could have used the extra spotlight here. On the other hand, holy shit, fuck those stages, dude. I personally started Arknights solely for this event, and let me tell you, that was rough. The stages here are not at all designed for new players, which is unfortunate, but luckily I'm a Souls game veteran, so I'm used to throwing my head against the wall until the wall breaks, and then I eventually unlocked both Umidi and Yamu. And then I just used a story reader for the rest, because again, those stages were rough, man. But again, the story was also good, and I'm happy that I got it. But the stages definitely do lower my opinion on it. Overall, I didn't even write this part in the script, but I guess I should probably briefly go over it. My thoughts on Arknights as a whole right now is actually that it's pretty good. I think that it opens up a lot stronger than most gacha games do. Granted, is it like the best opening? Probably not. I'd probably go with Limbus. But like for example, I'd have it above Punishing Gray Raven, at least like for the super early chapters. Like if we were comparing like Punishing Gray Raven prologue to chapter 4 versus Arknights prologue in chapter 1, I'd probably go with Arknights on it. But overall, I'm also going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to put you second image on screen. This is a current ranking because I couldn't find a good tier list. So there you go. That's my character ranking on Arknights. Not by writing, by the way. This is just favoritism. 8 out of 10. At 7, I have a manhwa I binged called I Love Amy, a short Yuri manhwa about an antisocial girl and her psychopathic friend. It's a bizarre read, but the first half is fine. The second half is really good, actually, and the main duo is fantastic. But admittedly, BB does a lot of the heavy lifting on the entertainment front. 8.5 out of 10. At 6, we have another season of Minecraft Survivor, this time being Season 6, Legao, Heroes vs. Villains, an all-star season, which is just an all the castaways or all the people on the season are returnees, which was really fun. And after my initial watch, this was actually my favorite season. On the rewatch now, though, being caught up, it's still upper half, but it's not the top anymore. I remember being absolutely gut-wrenched by the first tribal, and yeah, that held true here. Seeing all these players interact was just super fun, although I do think there were some snubs. Personally, I would have loved to see the likes of Jack, Vision, and Bayback. But I mean, I got 2 of those on season 9, which we'll talk about in the March video. But either way, I really like the season. It has some really fun rounds of gameplay, especially the Sooner Boot being one of my favorite rounds in the series. 8.5 out of 10. Moving into the top 5, we have Punishing Gray Raven Interlude, Roland Flambeau. This was incredible. A top 3 interlude in the series for me as of now. The Double Truman Show thing is so awesome, and it's executed incredibly well. Roland's story is probably the most interesting on paper for me, but Vera's monologue in the Rosen interlude about pain was a better individual moment than anything in Roland's. And also, we have another interlude that we'll talk about, 9 out of 10. At number 4, and again, people won't care, but fittingly, we have Minecraft Survivor Season 4, Halong, which, up to the point of Season 7, the furthest I got to in this month, this was my favorite season across my rewatch. We get the insanity of Brayden, we get Guy, who went down fighting, which was fun. We get the happy blindside, the Aussie blindside, the Bayback blindside, which was genuinely insane from all fronts. We get Brady being actually likable on this season. We get Xink, who was an insane character. Foration had some moments. Even Danny had a few moments. I thought A-Dog was fine. Hope had some super fun moments throughout the game, getting into multiple fights across the season, which was great. But really, Sinwar, the main narrator of the season, stole the show. Like, by far, he's definitely in my top 10 favorite players across the series, probably top 5. It's a really fun season. The themes of introverts versus extroverts was super fun as well. 9 out of 10. Now we're at the top 3, and this is bizarre. We have Punishing Great Raven Interlude, Live Imperia. This is undoubtedly the best interlude in Punishing Great Raven. But what makes this bizarre is that I really don't have all that much to say here. This left me completely speechless. I genuinely have no critiques here. It's a beautiful story. It's absolutely incredible the way that they interweave this with Chapter 17. And when I finished this interlude to type out my thoughts, I simply wrote no notes. 9.5 out of 10. Now, number 2, and honestly, I did have this below that interlude originally, but I bumped it up here. We have Shiba Yugi Volume 5. Straight up, if you want my thoughts, just go watch the Shiba Yugi ranking video. I pick apart this volume in particular very thoroughly. It's the best content offering in the series for me. Phenomenal read. It's my 7th favorite individual light novel volume, which, I mean, yeah, maybe that doesn't sound great, but I've read almost 100 of those suckers, so 9.5 out of 10. Punishing Grey Raven 17, The Surviving Lucan. This was not even remotely a debate for me. This was number 1 as soon as I finished it. Now having time to marinate on it, yeah, no, this is number 1. It's one of the best gacha chapters of all time. It's either 3 or 4 for me. I do debate it with Fear Alicia, but they are literally both 10 out of 10 for me, so who fucking gives a shit? Chapter 17 here is the single most raw and depressing piece of media I've ever read. I genuinely forced myself to take a break at one point because the content on offer here is just so hard to get through. There's subject matter here that is rough. There's also the entire church sequence, if you know, you know. Absolutely incredible. For me, the highest compliment I can give this chapter is that chapter 17 makes Punishing Gray Raven a story worth reading. Very rarely does a piece of media give me the feelings that this did, but it is, with no uncertain terms, an absolute fucking masterpiece. 10 out of 10. There we go. That is every piece of media in February 2026. If it felt shorter and like I didn't talk about the entries as much as I normally would, it's because I didn't talk about them as much as I normally would. I'm behind on videos. I needed to write this script, record this script, record the the audio, because my family's out right now, and it would make life a lot easier if I could just do this and then I can edit it later. The problem is I haven't even edited the fucking January video. I'm behind on videos. I also need to do I need to get back to the script of the top 100 series. I need to, start editing again, which luckily I was able to, bypass today. Fun fact about today: this is recorded after, or a couple hours after I did that little ABC short thing. Um, but yeah, I'm behind on stuff on the channel. I want to be not behind on the channel, and this just seemed like the best way to go about that. So yeah, that's all. Take care, y'all.